This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy to see if you could save when you bundle your home and auto policies. Try it at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
From Estero, Florida, this is a One Extraordinary Marriage show. Where being busy is overdone, romancing is fun, and scheduling sex has taken the guesswork out of wondering when you're going to get some. I'm Tony DiLorenzo, your co-host, along with my beautiful wife, Elisa. From coast to coast and around the world, thank you for joining us. It's time to talk sex, love, and commitment. Give us a call or text us on the HUG hotline at 858-876-5663 or send us an email to hugs@oneextraordinarymarriage.com. In today's episode, we're talking about how adventures beyond the bedroom, new locations can strengthen your pillars of intimacy and create lasting memories.
And Amelia Earhart had this to say about adventure. She said, adventure is worthwhile in itself. And I think as we talk about having sex and being sexually intimate in different areas and locations, there is an element of adventure to that. And we're going to be digging into that in today's episode. But first, we start every episode with a hug. And a hug is an opportunity to just celebrate your breakthroughs, your revelations, where you're being intentional in your marriage. And this hug comes from a DM we received from someone in the one family who traveled recently on the 6 Pillars at Sea marriage getaway. And the message said, just wanted to say that we are now closer with our friends we've met from the cruise than we are with anyone we've been friends with for the last 20 years.
Wow.
My wife and I have our boys and girls book clubs with those same folks, and it's an amazing platform for that mentoring mentality for everyone. You're rock stars. Thank you for helping keep us together. Love you both so much.
Well, it's always amazing when we get to go on a marriage getaway, and especially the marriage getaway cruise. It's just this bonding time between us and you guys, and more importantly, couples in the one family getting to connect. And so I would say if you would love to join us for the 2026 6 Pillars at Sea marriage getaway, go to oneextraordinarymarriage.com/getaway. We'd love to have you join us. We still have some rooms available. So jump on it. Come join us. Come join others in the one family.
It's so funny because I don't necessarily add the hug at the same time that I'm writing the episode. And I didn't even realize that the hug had to do with travel at the like different locations, moving about as this episode does. And the idea for this episode we recently went to Tennessee for the wedding of a wonderful young adult that we had the privilege to know back when we lived in California. And just being there, Tony and I have this conversation when we travel about, part of it is just using kind of the vacation planner mentality of talking through like, hey, where are we going to be sexually intimate? What does this look like? That type of thing. And over this last year, I feel like I was standing in the Tulsa airport when we were having this conversation.
If it was Tulsa, that would have been February of this year when we went to speak at the Connection Co. Church.
Okay. I feel like I was in Oklahoma when we were having this conversation. But I started just thinking through, Tony and I were talking about travel and all the states that we've been to and this kind of thing. And I'm like, I wonder if there's an app where I can just like mark where I've been. And so I found this very basic app. And so I started marking all the states that I've traveled to and states I've lived in and this kind of thing. And then I realized that I could actually create my own designation. Like I could have my own color coded and I could put my own words on it. And I'm like, I wonder if I could track sexy time. And so actually on my app, it has sexy time as a designation, and those states are color coded. And yes, those are the states where Tony and I around the world have had sex. Because I was like, we should actually probably, like, this is kind of a fun thing to keep track of. Just to know, like, there's unique memories just in those travels, but it's also like, all right, like it's part of our adventure when we travel. And it got us to thinking, like, how does the one family feel about being sexually intimate in different places? Like, where have you been intimate outside of your bedroom? Right? Because we talk a lot on this show and have since probably the very beginning about the fact that you have more, like you are not limited. There is no rule. It's not in the 10 Commandments. It's not in the Constitution. Nowhere does it say you only can be sexually intimate in your bedroom.
Right. And we encourage you to at home because that's the place where most of us are for the majority of our time when we are being sexually intimate, to even get out of there.
Correct.
And yet we figured, why don't we bring this in from let's get outside the home. Mm-hmm. What does that look like? And especially from this conversation Elisa and I had, because it was actually pretty funny when we started doing this, because we were sitting there and I remember her going through the map and looking at it. And I think at that point in time, it was like 25 states. We were just in Tennessee for that wedding. And that was the first time Elisa and I had been to Tennessee together. Mm-hmm. And so we made sure to be and have some sexual intimate time there. So we marked that state off of our list.
Current standing is 25 states.
And you added Tennessee to that?
No, that includes Tennessee.
Okay,
we're at 25 states.
So we're at 25 states.
Yeah. 50% right now.
Yeah, not too bad. And well, when this comes out, we had
happy anniversary!
29 years of marriage. So we've been saying we're going to be 29 years for a bit now, and now we are 29 years as of Sunday. So so 25 and 29 years. All right. Hey, if you would love to go through and find one of these apps, again, find the app you want. I don't think it matters what app you get, but go through it. You may even just bust out a U.S. map or a world map and put down where you've been, because many of you have traveled the world and
Absolutely.
So hit us up, hugs@oneextraordinarymarriage.com, and let us know. We'd love to hear that.
Yeah, it was interesting because last week on the Instagram stories, we asked the question, do you think new locations make sexual intimacy more exciting? And 88% of you said yes. And I love this because there's actually psychology around location and intimacy. There is this psychological component to different locations. And it's kind of this 4 or 5-fold just points that I think are important to know, that novelty actually increases your dopamine. Right? It raises the feel-good chemical when you're experiencing something new. It's why you have you see a sunset in a new place for the first time and it just feels different. You're going for a drive to a new location and it's that dopamine that I'm doing something new, which also then breaks out of your routines. And those being out of your routine actually forces your attention, your mental presence back into the moment, because we can get so I know what this looks like and I know what the pillows look like and I know what the light looks like coming over, and you can check out of sexual intimacy. But when you're in a new environment, it's very hard to be on autopilot because you're literally your 5 senses are taking on all new information. When you have a new adventure with your spouse, there's an opportunity for bonding there, right? Because the two of you, and Tony and I know this too, even as we're planning day trips and things like that. It's what are we going to do? What do you want to do? What's important to you on this trip? And there's a different level of connection when you are doing that. And also when you're trying something new, it can reduce some of the pressure, the performance pressure, because you're we're all in a new place. And when you hear some of the ideas where couples in the one family have been sexually intimate outside of the bedroom, you're going to understand why it becomes more about the connection and less about the pressure, because some of these scenarios I was whoa, that could actually, but again, it's about that shared experience. And it brings this heightened intentionality to it, because you have to be more intentional when you're stepping outside of the confines of your bedroom to be sexually intimate. And so the other question we asked, which I love asking these questions and just the level of vulnerability that you all bring, is what's the most adventurous place where you've been intimate? And just to give a little definition around the word adventure, an unusual and exciting experience or activity, a bold, sometimes risky undertaking. So I didn't give that definition, but as I started reading some of these responses, I was well, let's just talk about that. Let's talk about some of those responses.
Yeah, some of these responses are just amazing. And again, this could be in your own home state. It could be in your city. It could be in another state. It could be somewhere around the world. I think that's the beauty of these answers too. Some of them you could place yourself where they're at.
Right.
But others you're wow, that could be any park,
Can I put the disclaimer we always put when we're...
Oh, absolutely. I was going to, but
okay,
you go for it.
You go.
Hey, if you choose to be sexually intimate outside of your home in some city, state, county, country, please obey all the local laws. We are not responsible for any citations, any arrests, anything that may happen, whatever it may be. So
we did not tell you to. We are simply providing information.
That's all there is. So this one just makes me cringe a little bit. So I'm going to share this real quick. But a dressing room of a very popular chain store. That to me, when you talk about,
reducing pressure,
reducing performance pressure, I think
you can't even say it.
That would increase the pressure to. That is wild to me.
So whoever submitted that, I just want you to know Tony's sweating right now, and like if you could see his body language, he's all like, ah.
That one, I wouldn't even suggest that. Me personally, I would feel so awkward on that. Now, I don't know, maybe 20 years ago it would have been different, but right now, absolutely not. On the back deck in the middle of a thunderstorm, I think that is awesome. Personally, I love that one.
We've just swung literally from it totally stresses. And I want to say that because we're going to be sharing some other, like we're going to go through this list, and this is definitely not a comprehensive list because you all turned out in terms of answers. Not everything's going to appeal to you. But the idea is to start hearing different things and go, what could we do? Mm-hmm. Right? Somebody said at a Toby Keith concert came up a lot. So clearly there's a lot going on at concerts. Yeah. In the hot tub at a cabin we rented for our anniversary.
Yeah, that's good.
Lots of balconies. You all love a cruise ship balcony, hotel balcony, midnight, 23rd floor. Like there were all.
We've had sex on a balcony.
We have?
Yeah.
We have. Yeah. That was in.
We need to do that. We need to do that on our next cruise balcony. Like we need to take advantage of that.
Okay. Noted.
Just saying. When we go on the next 6 Pillars at Sea marriage getaway, we're gonna take advantage of our balcony.
Lots of in the woods, in the mountains. There was one beautiful one that talked about being surrounded by fireflies, and I was like, oh, I can picture that. That's like a movie scene. On a bulldozer in the middle of a field.
I like that.
That was unique to me because I was like, oh, that's kind of like taking the car thing up a huge notch. And the car was on there a lot. You all have definitely utilized your car in parking garages, on the street, wherever, in your own garage. It came up a lot.
At the beach, yep. Church attic. I found that to be interesting.
Golf course.
Yeah.
This next one.
You know what a golf course, so if you get like right into like one of the bunkers, like
you've been watching way too much golf.
You're not on the fairway, you're in a bunker, like that would be perfect. Like you're sort of protected,
Sure.
Yeah.
This one, you will probably never catch me do, but I do love it. Just in terms of creativity, in the walk-in cooler at work, I was like, that just wow, cold. That was my first.
That's Elisa. It's just cold. That wouldn't happen. Airplane. I'd still love to try that. Every time I do, Elisa just looks at me and rolls her eyes.
Well, because you usually suggest it like 2:00 in the afternoon or 11:00 in the morning when it's just like, let's just walk. And I'm like, there are flight. It's not like it's a transatlantic flight where people are sleeping.
No, honey. I have tried it on red eyes, and you still roll your eyes. So
when was the last time we took a red eye?
I don't remember, but
yeah, exactly my point.
Whatever.
Exactly my point.
Soccer field at midnight, and then 50-yard line of a high school football field with snow flurries.
Again, movie scene. I love it. And, I love these answers because it literally kind of spans the whole gamut of like adventure, right? Some people are, super adventurous, and then other people, their adventure is where they're comfortable in terms of like being in your backyard under the stars, fireworks. I love all of that. And, I want to say there's no scale. Right. It's not like, oh, you have to be super adventurous or not so much. Like, don't worry about the scale. Worry about breaking out of the routine. Right. Because when routine starts to creep in, and we're guilty of this, guys, this is not judgment or anything like that. But you can get stuck in certain patterns where it's only at night, only in bed. You can get stuck in this place where, fear of getting caught, even in your own home, can prevent you from trying new locations because you're like, what about the kids? I'm telling you, if you have little kids, this one's got to be a lot more careful. If they're like with grandma and grandpa or, outside of your house, that's when you do it because nobody's going to walk in. If you have teenagers, my goodness, call them. Mm-hmm. Call them and find out where they're going to be.
Or a quick text even happens. I remember Elisa and I would do a quick text. Hey, what's going on? Like it's not a weird like reach out. It's just, hey, what's going on? Oh, I'm doing this. Okay, cool. Like,
what time do you think you're going to be home today?
Yeah, what time do you think you're going to be around back? Oh, I'll be home probably in another 2-3 hours. Okay, cool. Bye. All right, bye. Like that's all. Have a great afternoon. See you later. Bye. And then it's sort of like, okay,
we got the house to ourselves. Still have 2 adult children. in our home.
Yes,
I still employ this tactic of finding out who and where and like what that all looks like for this reason. And you know, it's also, you don't have to travel to be adventurous, right? You don't have to travel to get outside of your bedroom. I mean, vacation sex is a thing, like being in a hotel. Obviously, the balconies are being well utilized in hotels around the world.
Absolutely, they are.
Because I know a few countries, I forgot to mention, a few of the countries that were mentioned, Mexico, New Zealand, Australia, and Canada were all mentioned as well. So
and our 20th was Peru.
Oh, yes, we also have Peru.
Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico.
Those are not, I only had a USA map. I didn't get a world map.
I know.
Shoot.
And then when we were on our cruise, I think when we were docked in Haiti.
Oh,
Labadee.
I didn't think about Portugal.
Yeah.
Technically in country.
Yeah. Bahamas.
Look at that.
You know? So, not too shabby.
Not too shabby.
Like,
Tony's feeling pretty
We have
good.
not been to Europe, but once we get there, we will eventually christen Italy and Florida, or not Florida. We're in Florida.
We're in Florida. Florida
Paris.
has been checked off. Florida has
France.
been checked off. But it definitely,
countries.
again, it comes down to having this intentionality and a willingness to do something different. And some of you right now might be thinking, well, Elisa, Tony, how do we do this? And we're going to talk about that after this break.
This podcast is supported by MIDI Health. Are you in midlife, feeling dismissed, unheard, or just plain tired of the old healthcare system? You're not alone. In fact, even today, 75% of women seeking care for menopause and perimenopause issues are left entirely untreated. But it's time for a change. It's time for MIDI. MIDI's not just a healthcare provider. It's a women's telehealth clinic founded and supported by world-class leaders in women's health. Their clinicians provide one-on-one, face-to-face consultations where they truly listen to your unique needs. They offer a full range of holistic, data-driven solutions that isn't one-size-fits-all care. This is care uniquely tailored for you. At MIDI, you will find that their mission is clear: to help all women thrive in midlife, giving them access to the healthcare they deserve. Because they believe midlife isn't the middle at all. It is the beginning of your second act. Ready to feel your best and write your second act script? Visit joinmidi.com today to book your personalized, insurance-covered virtual visit. That's joinmidi.com. MIDI, the care women deserve.
This is a message for anyone who's ever felt like their bra was just fine. Third Love is here so you don't have to settle for good enough. A company founded by women just like you who know what struggling to find a bra feels like. For over 10 years, they've been redefining what a comfortable bra looks and feels like, focusing on innovative design and high-quality materials. We're talking about bras, yes, bras, made with thoughtful details to solve common problems. Want to stay cool and comfortable all day? Third Love offers innovative thermoregulating fabric that has you covered. Looking for a little extra lift? Need smoothing? Even need to add a cup size? They've got it. And the fit? It's unmatched. Third Love believes everyone deserves a bra that fits perfectly, which is why they offer over 60 sizes from AA through H. They even have exclusive half cup sizes, which means if you're in between sizes, you can get a perfect fit every time. Stop settling for average bras. Get solutions made for your body. Get $15 off your perfect fit bra at thirdlove.com with code podcast15.
We're back, and we've been discussing how adventure and new locations can strengthen your sexual intimacy and just create all these memories. Because the truth of the matter is that, yes, you know, like Tony was rattling off all those countries, and I can think of like, you mentioned Peru. I hadn't thought about Peru in ages, but I remember we were in one hotel in Peru that the walls were so thin. It was the one at the base of Aguas Calientes before we went to Machu Picchu.
That hotel is horrible.
And so we're trying to be intimate, and like, I don't know, there was a gaggle of girls or something running up and down. Like, it was just, it felt like they were in our room. And I'm like, I can't even focus. You know, so you're going to have those moments, but you get into it and you bond over this. It's actually kind of a funny story to think back on that hotel and just be like, oh, yeah, that was okay. You know, and you have those moments because it doesn't always go according to plan, right? But thinking through, how can we bring intentionality, novelty, and fun into our sexual intimacy. And like, what would it look like for us to have our own sexy time map or our own adventure map? Like, what would be on that for the two of you? And it may even just be the initial conversation, right? Some of you may, like, even throughout this episode be going, oh shoot, I wonder how many states we've got. Some of you I know have well exceeded us. I can't wait to celebrate you. Send in your hug. But some of you are like, I've never even thought about it. What would that look like for us? And it may just start with, hey, would you listen to this episode? Because Tony and Elisa talked about trying new locations for sexual intimacy, and I'd love to know what you think. Right? You might not even be the one to have the conversation. It may just simply be saying, hey, would you listen to this? And maybe what would make this fun for you? Like, if we were to try something new, I don't want you to be stressed out. Like, what would make it fun for you? And listen to what they say, right? Because you start. And this week, maybe you're just going to choose one location in your home, right? You can, if you just open your bedroom door, like, I would encourage each and every one of you, just open your bedroom door, stand and look at your home with fresh eyes to say, where could we in our house this week?
Mm-hmm. And if needed, like if you want to go outside or something, I've known many of friends over the years who've put up fences, put up bushes, put up different shades, drapes, whatever it may be, because you're like, this could be a wonderful place for us. And yet our neighbor over there has sort of a way to view in. Well, we're going to block that view. And I've known many of you who've shared this with me. And so sometimes it's just taking a look at where we live too and going, if I just put something up right over there, it should be pretty good to go and nobody's going to bother us. Mm-hmm. Some of you live on acreages, and you can just get out into the middle of your own farm, your own ranch, which is awesome. And it may mean just like jumping in the truck with the blanket. Mm-hmm. We are into fall time in some areas. It's not the heat of summer anymore. It's not hot. It's not just bearing down on us. The days are shorter, so we can get out there a little earlier. Sunset's happening sooner. And so this is one of those perfect times. And I love the fall personally. Southwest Florida fall is actually one of my favorites because it's still like 85, 90 degrees. I like that warm weather now, but I do miss the changing colors and that feel of the crispness that happens, the warmer day, the cooler evening. It's a perfect time to just go out, jump on a balcony. Like for many of you, it may mean like use some of those points that you have on your credit card, or maybe you have points with one of your hotels, and just go get a night away, the two of you, and ask for the 6th floor. Like, get on the top floor, get away. Don't be on the 1st floor, Ask for something fun and just go enjoy a balcony. And maybe even, because again, we're in this shoulder months where some of these places aren't that busy anymore. Like, the summer has wound down and the winter time isn't here yet. And I remember this when we used to live in Colorado. This was the time to go to the mountains for me. I'm not a big skier, snowboarder, or anything like that. But this was the time. Go up to Winter Park. There's nobody there. Go up to Vail. Nobody's there. Like, go enjoy that.
It's interesting because a lot of times when we do episodes like this, I kind of put my coaching hat on and think, for some of you, this is going to be a huge step, right? This feels wildly uncomfortable. And for others of you, you're like, 25 states, Elisa, come on, like really get into, and there's a whole gamut, right? In terms of where your comfort level is. But I think there's something incredibly powerful between couples in terms of vulnerability when you say, let's try something, right? Let's see where we can take this. Let's maybe have our own adventure challenge, whatever that means to the two of you. Maybe it's you don't travel out of your state very much, but you're like, well, we could do a whole bunch of cities in our state, right?
Can I share something just real quick too?
Sure.
And I love what you're saying there, and it just made me realize a lot of this. I know with Elisa and I, we had to get strategic before we even went out. And when I say that, a lot of it was, even the planning was really fun. And a lot of the foreplay, and we've talked a lot about foreplay, like, wow, the anticipation of what we're going to do. And I remember us just being able to talk like, okay, wear a skirt, wear these panties. Like, Tony, wear these types of shorts or this pant, don't wear underwear. Like, have our kit ready to go, like our little cleanup kit ready to go. Things of that nature that made it made it that it was easy for us to be sexually intimate that didn't expose us. So, when she's wearing a skirt and I'm just wearing like shorts with no underwear on, it's very easy to keep my shorts on, lift up her skirt. Like, so think in that nature as well, which the anticipation of that and the fun of talking of that heightened the sexual experience.
Okay, real quick, because we have not mentioned that in years. You talked about a cleanup kit, and I'm just going to throw this in, and then I'm going to come back to just Adventure Map, and we'll close this out. But the cleanup kit is that little Ziploc bag, that's easy to toss into a bag, backpack, whatever, that, if you are using condoms, it's got a condom in there. Wipes, paper, whatever you need to clean up, and then it can all go back. Little Uberlube packs are super handy to have in there because it can just be great to lubricate. And so if you put it all in a Ziploc bag, when you are done, you can just zip it up again and toss it in the trash and be done with it. So that was something years ago. We used to talk about it a lot. It has not made an appearance here on the One Extraordinary Marriage show in years, but you mentioned it, so I wanted to say that. But coming back to just thinking through different locations, some of you might have the goal of hitting all 50 states in a number of countries. Some of you may say, hey, what happens if we do, 3 to 5 new locations every year? I mean, as this episode is being released, we've got 3 months left in 1 year. We're getting ready to start a new year. Maybe you want to do one place every quarter. It's up to you. See, you don't have to be Tony and Elisa, and we don't want you to be us. We want the two of you to say, okay, what would it look like for us? What would it look like for us to invest in our sexual intimacy this way, to choose to create those memories together, to say, hey, we're going to try this to see how it makes our marriage extraordinary.
Yeah. These are the fun things that we get to do and then even put together. And as Elisa was saying, we're at the end of this year. We're getting towards the end of this year. For some of you, it may be just a fun little gift that you're going to give your spouse. You're already thinking, you're already planning, you're putting maybe some ideas in a jar, and that's going to be your gift to them. The thing I will say to each and every one of you, and I think this is for Elisa and I as well, we need to break out of those habits that keep us in the same place doing the same thing over and over and over again. And I think Elisa and I can say that we have fallen prey to that over this last year. And so this even encourages us to go, what can we do? Where can we go, even in our home or somewhere else, to change it up? And so with that, you guys go out there, send in your hugs at oneextraordinarymarriage.com. I'd love to read them. I'd love to hear where you've gone, what adventures you've had together here in the States, around the world. Share them. Take care. Love you guys. Thank you for listening to the One Extraordinary Marriage Show. If you love this podcast, please leave a review on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you are listening. Your review helps others find the show and know that it's the right fit for them and their marriage.